Salesforce admins don't just manage clicks. They run the system businesses rely on every day. If you want to move into higher-paying admin roles, consulting, or platform ownership, passing the Salesforce Certified Platform Administrator exam is a non-negotiable step. This certification from Salesforce proves you can configure, secure, and scale the platform with confidence. In this video, we'll walk through real admin-style practice questions so you can think like the exam and pass it without guesswork. Let's get into it. Question number 1. The CTO of AW Computing has defined a new policy for cases to improve customer satisfaction. All cases submitted with a case reason of installation must be acknowledged immediately through email and assigned to the appropriate agents. Any cases that are still in the new status after 4 hours must be escalated to support management. A platform administrator has implemented auto-response rules. Which additional case management tool is necessary to meet this requirement? A. Support processes. B. Formulas. C. Escalation rules. D. Entitlements. Correct answer, C. Escalation rules explanation. Comprehensive and detailed, 150 to 200 words of explanation from Salesforce topics. Auto-response rules handle the immediate acknowledgement email, but they do not escalate cases after a time-based condition is met. Salesforce documents describe escalation rules as the feature that automatically escalates cases when they meet rule criteria and after the defined elapsed time. In this scenario, the organization needs cases with case reason equals installation to be monitored and then escalated if they remain in new status after 4 hours. That is exactly the purpose of escalation rules. Salesforce also documents that case assignment rules determine how cases are routed to users or queues, while auto-response rules send the acknowledgement communication. In the platform's order of execution for service rules, assignment rules and auto-response rules are separate from escalation rules, confirming that escalation is an additional tool rather than something already covered by the existing setup. Support processes only control status values and page behavior. Formulas only calculate values, and entitlements manage service levels and milestones, not this direct timed escalation requirement. Question number 2. A platform administrator at Ursa Major Solar has been asked to change the work item and project custom object relationship from a master detail to a lookup. Which scenario prevents the administrator from fulfilling this requirement? A. A junction object is required to support the lookup. B. Roll-up summary fields exist on the master object. C. The lookup field in all the records contains a value. D. The lookup field is required for saving records. Correct answer, B. Roll-up summary fields exist on the master object. Explanation. Comprehensive and detailed 150 to 200 words of explanation from Salesforce topics. A master detail relationship can be converted to a lookup relationship only when Salesforce dependency rules tied to the master detail structure are removed first. The key blocker in this scenario is the presence of roll-up summary fields on the master object. Roll-up summary fields depend on a master detail relationship because they aggregate values from child records to the parent. Once the relationship becomes a lookup, that roll-up behavior is no longer supported, so Salesforce prevents the conversion until those roll-up summary fields are deleted or otherwise replaced. This is why option B is the correct answer. The other options do not block the conversion in the same way. A lookup field can still contain values after conversion, and a required lookup can be configured separately. A junction object is used for many-to-many designs, but it is not required simply to change a master detail relationship to lookup. Salesforce documentation consistently ties roll-up summary capability to master detail relationships, which is the decisive rule here. Question number 3. Which component of an approval process defines the chain of approval, determines which records can advance, and specifies where to assign approval requests? 1717. A. Process definition detail. B. Approval steps. C. Entry criteria. D. Approval actions. Correct answer, B. Approval steps. The core logic of any approval process is contained within its approval steps 18. While the overall process defines the entry criteria for which records can start the process, the individual approval steps are what define the actual chain of approval, 19-19-19. Each step can have its own specific criteria to determine if a record should enter that particular step or skip to the next one. Furthermore, the approval step is where the administrator specifies the assigned approver, whether it be a specific user, a manager, or a queue. This granularity allows for complex routing, such as sending small discounts to a manager, but large discounts to a VP. Process Definition Detail, Option A, provides a high-level overview of the process settings. Entry criteria, Option C, only act as the initial gatekeeper. Approval actions, Option D, are the automated results, like email alerts or field updates, that happen once a step is decided. Question number 4. Which action should a platform administrator configure to reverse a submitted approval request and unlock the associated record when setting up an approval process? 99. A. Final rejection actions. B. Recall actions. C. Final approval actions. D. Initial submission actions. Correct answer, B. Recall actions. Explanation. An approval process consists of several stages, each with its own set of automated actions. When a record is first submitted, it is typically locked to prevent further edits. If a user needs to reverse that submission, perhaps because they realize they made a mistake or the deal terms changed, the administrator must configure recall actions. A recall action is specifically designed to allow the submitter or an administrator to pull the record back out of the approval queue. Common recall actions include a field update to change the status back to draft, and most importantly, an action to unlock the record so it can be edited again. Final rejection actions occur when an approver denies the request, and final approval actions occur when the request is fully granted. Initial submission actions are what lock the record and start the process in the first place. Question number 5. CloudKicks wants Agentforce to adapt its behavior based on real-time customer input. Which feature directly enables this capability? 1. A. Data Cloud. B. Custom Actions. C. ScreenFlow. D. Tableau. Correct answer, B. Custom Actions. Explanation. Agentforce is built to be dynamic, meaning it doesn't just follow a static script, but rather reasons through a problem using an agentic loop. The feature that directly allows an agent to adapt its behavior and take specific, real-time steps based on customer input is Custom Actions. When a customer provides information, such as a specific order number or a request to change an address, the agent identifies the user's intent and selects the most relevant action to execute. These actions can be powered by flows, Apex, or prompt templates, giving the agent the ability to interact with Salesforce data in real time. While Data Cloud provides the data foundation for grounding, it is the actions themselves that define the agent's behavioral capabilities. ScreenFlows provide a guided UI for humans, but custom actions are what allow the agent to function autonomously. Tableau is an analytics tool and does not drive real-time agent behavior. Salesforce administrators are in constant demand, but certified admins move first when opportunities open up. Passing the Salesforce Certified Platform Administrator exam proves you can secure data, automate processes, support users, keep Salesforce running at scale. Don't leave that to chance. Use focused platform administrator practice questions available on CertBoosters' website to sharpen your judgment, reinforce core concepts, and walk into the exam ready to pass on the first try. Start practicing now and take control of your Salesforce career.